The subjunctive with conjunctions. Conjunctions are words that are used to connect parts of a sentence. The most common conjunction is que. Now, normally, conjunctions can also affect how the second part or why the second part or when the second part of a sentence occurs. Like, for example, vamos a visitar a Carlos antes de que regrese a California. Subjunctive, if you recall, it is a situation that is hypothetical when you are uncertain about an action or event. A situation which is unfulfilled. One expression very common is con tal de que, meaning provided that. So let's take a look at the conjunctions that require the subjunctive. A menos que, antes de que, con tal de que, en caso de que, para que, sin que. They're also known as the escapa expressions. If you remember the story, she says, a menos que protejamos, unless we protect animals. He says, en caso de que me necesiten, in case you need me. So let's take a look. Lo hacemos sin que nos pidan. The conjunction is sin que, and no nos lo pidan. That'll be in the subjunctive because without their asking us. So, antes de que, para que, sin que. There's something peculiar about them. One is they always ask for subjunctive. Now, antes de, para, and sin, if they do not have que, they're going to need infinitive. For example, te llamamos mañana antes de que salgas. We'll call you tomorrow before you leave. Te llamamos antes de salir de la casa. We'll call you before leaving the house. Notice that we don't put ing, like for example, saliendo. We have to use salir because the preposition de, as with all prepositions in Spanish, when you use them, you do not conjugate the verb afterwards. Te llamamos mañana antes de que salgas. Te llamamos antes de salir. Now, there are a few conjunctions which are a little bit tricky because they can work with subjunctive or work with indicative, depending on the circumstance. Let's take a look at them. Cuando, después de que, en cuanto, hasta que, tan pronto como. Now, so how does that going to work? If the clause is dependent, you're going to use subjunctive if the main clause talks about a future action, as in vamos a resolver el problema cuando desarrollemos nuevas tecnologías, o voy a llamarte después de que Miguel regrese. Now, you're going to use a subordinate clause in the indicative if you're talking about a habitual action or an action that took place in the past. For example, contaminan los ríos cuando construyen nuevos edificios, o contaminaron el río cuando construyeron ese edificio. So that's basically it. Remember, if it's talking about something that occurs frequently or in the past, we're going to use indicative. If it talks about something that will happen in the future, we're going to use subjunctive.